Guess what? You're listening to The Watchers, a show where two women from opposite ends of New Jersey watch movies and TV. Just to remind everybody, either about New Jersey or deeply inspired by New Jersey, or not at all related to New Jersey sometimes, but
with Jersey vibes.
That's right. And this one,
yeah, the vibes are strong.
The vibes are strong.
The vibes are good.
The vibes are good, and they're strong. And you're Jodie.
And I almost said it. I'm Andrea.
Put that on the bingo card for our show.
God. Yeah. Oh, this was so fun. Widow's Bay episode 6 and 7. Our history and seasickness.
And before
what a great time to have just watched Jaws, by the way.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was watching it. I was like, Jodie's getting all the refs.
I got all the references.
That's great.
Yeah.
Before we get into 6 and 7 individually, I just want to say, so smart of them from a storytelling perspective, but also from like a give the people what they want perspective. Give us the flashback episode. Cool to do it this early in the first season.
Yep.
And then right away, so that we don't feel like we're waiting a week. And it paired so well.
So well.
Even
I was surprised when the lights of Wick's truck came on at the end of episode 6. I was like, oh, we're back in the present.
Here we go.
And it just picks like right up in a way that like they could have done the thing where they end with them digging and they open with them digging, but they just shifted enough.
It's really cool. I was thinking if this were an hour-long TV show, I wonder if it would have been threaded more. You could have overlapped. Like 6 could have been an overlap between 5 and 7 in a way.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah,
I like
totally
it as a standalone because I said this last week, I think, but I don't rewatch television very often. I have watched each of these episodes at least twice so far, and I will watch it again probably. Like, so when we do Yellow Jackets or another sort of mystery box show, I watch for every little detail, right? I'm watching it again to be like, what did I miss? What is going to be said on Reddit that I'm going to wish I had said on the podcast because I didn't look closely enough?
Yeah, I didn't screen cap and
right. That's not what I'm doing though. No, I'm rewatching it for
joy
fun.
Of it, totally.
And I'm not even like obsessively closely rewatching it. I'm just hanging out. Like, it's so fun to just be in this world. Like, I will be devastated when this season ends.
I'm not ready. And
I'm not close. I don't even want to think about it, but we only have 3 episodes left. I'm not worried like, oh, are they going to stick the landing? Am I going to be disappointed? I trust them. They know their tone. They know what they're doing. They're not holding on to things super lightly. I feel like, like there's not it's not, how can I say this? Like in a way that makes sense. The lore is there, but it's like, if you miss bits of it, you're still having a good time.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't have to be like an obsessive watcher to enjoy this at all.
Yeah. There's so many shows we've watched that I've loved that feel like work, not just because we cover them on the podcast, but because you really have to. Yellow Jackets is a great example, a show that we love. But that really feels like clocking in when it's time to watch. And this is not that at all.
No, it's really like, if you want to be the screen capping person, which I have been screen capping this recently in the last couple of episodes in some rewatches of early episodes, but not because I'm like, oh, I have to figure this out, but because like there's fun Easter eggs everywhere. And I watched an interview with Katie Dippold where she was talking about this. The interviewer asked her, like, is there an Easter egg that you put in there that you are hoping people will get or like they haven't yet? And she mentioned one that we both noticed, I think, which is the one where when Patricia puts the book down on her nightstand during the Beach Reads episode. Yeah. We come back to it a minute later and the mug has been moved. Like, that's not like a reference to something, but it's like a, hey, something's going on here.
Right, yeah.
I don't remember
if we talked about that on mic, but...
No, I don't think we did, but I definitely noticed it, and it was kind of like the book being like, don't put that on me, So I've been doing more screen capping lately just because of like little fun things I'm finding. So in the Sea Hag episode, when Tom is on the phone with the sheriff is writing something in a notepad. And at the first couple times I watched it, I was like, whatever, he's taking notes. This time I zoomed in and screen captured it. It doesn't give me any clues, but it's hilarious. It says victim underlined, old woman, old in all caps, possibly damp, faster than old woman should be, exclamation point.
Yes. Possibly damp really got me.
So good.
Yes.
And then I screen capped the wall of the police station, and there's a whole bunch of missing posters behind the sheriff, different missing people. I screen capped the spell book that Patricia has. I started doing it not because I'm I might miss something, but because I'm what did they plant in there?
Right.
Because what we're realizing is that all of the things that we thought might be fun throwaways and jokes in the background are coming back.
Yeah.
Right. So to tie it back to this episode, there's a picture on the wall of the Historical Society in episode 1 of the front of a house with boarded up windows and a figure in the window. And that's Richard Warren's house.
That's right.
And it's boarded up kind of like it was in episode 6. So all of those things are... they're really, not just throwaways.
Yeah, no, and it's just building out a world where, like you said, even if you didn't catch that because you're not like us, that's fine. But it just makes this world, there's a reason that we settled into this universe so fast. And it's not just because this island is actually New Jersey in the 90s.
But it feels like a complete place, all of these little things they're planting earlier on are showing up again. So the statue of Sarah Warren that we see in episode 2, right, shows up again in episode 7.
Even Pastor Bryce looking down into that well. And what's so cool about it with the flashback episode too is that it could feel pretty separate from obviously it's very connected because Richard Warren is in episode 7, but just watching it could have felt very separate from episode 7 and from the rest of the series. But because they've built out the island so well, I'm that's where, the Bryce did this. That's the dock where it just is cool to feel so aware.
And the other reason that that's working, I think, is because the tone that Betty Gilpin and Hamish, what's his last name?
Linklater.
The tone that the two of them take in this episode is the perfect cross of serious Puritan language and the faces that Matthew Rhys makes throughout the present day episodes. It would be the easiest thing in the world to be just 2 steps over that line in one way or the other, and it wouldn't work. If they went a little too serious or a little too drunk history, jokey, whatever.
Yes.
It would feel like it didn't fit with the rest of the series.
Totally.
They have a tightrope that they're walking, and it's really working.
Yeah, and I kept being it's 1 degree more and it would be Mel Brooks, which would have been fun too. 2 degrees more and it's drunk history.
Yes, exactly.
And they really...
And I love Mel Brooks, but that's not what this is,
right, Yeah.
The flashback episode was, on the surface, I feel like it read more horror, less comedy. But the comedy that was in there was so surprising in the moment and such a jolt that I did chuckle out loud numerous times.
I had a couple of big laughs in this episode. So we're not gonna do a plot recap of it. The stuff I think I would like to note are, as per usual, like you just said, a couple of big laughs. I'd love to pinpoint a couple of those. And just what we need to know if you were watching episode 6 not super closely to move into episode 7.
Yeah, and then the things that came up in 6 and 7 that are answering questions that we've had in the past or moving plot points forward for the next 3 episodes, I think those are important to talk about. Before we do that, though, we missed something.
Uh-oh.
That no one else has mentioned because no one else is taking this from a Jersey perspective that I know about. But there's something that I'm really mad at myself for not noticing. And it was one of those, is this a reference or isn't it? But because Katie Dippold is so Jersey, I feel like it was. tell me the guy cleaning up from the spill at the convenience store wasn't a Clerk reference.
Oh, I meant to. Okay,
Clerk's reference.
I had a flash of wanting to ask you that as we were talking about it. In the moment and then we passed by it. But it is
like the milk ladies. And
yes,
the milk,
exactly. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think so.
If for nothing else, we have to get Katie Dippold on this podcast to ask her that question, because it has to be.
And if it's not, it's just that it's rooted. It's like it's like Joseph Campbell, but for New Jersey. It's like,
sure,
you know what I mean? It's like an archetype that is built into our DNA.
Like, that gas station convenience store could have been the Clerk's convenience store moved to a creepy New England island.
Absolutely.
And that guy could have been an annoyed, frustrated Dante at the end of his day, who just wants to like go break up with his girlfriend and get back together with his old girlfriend.
Yeah, he wasn't even supposed to be here today, and now
exactly.
now the mayor is all
the mayor's possessed.
Yeah,
like that's a crossover I'd watch. Maybe that is a crossover I'm watching.
Yeah, right.
So I just had to mention that in case anyone thought we hadn't done our due diligence. It's been on my mind since that episode, and I can't believe we never said it.
That's right.
So let's, just to keep ourselves somewhat organized, let's start with episode 6.
Yes.
Talk about what we thought was important, interesting about it, and then go to episode 7. And along the way, we can tie stuff together.
Sure.
So I am obsessed with the vibe of this episode.
Yes.
The references to Puritan history, especially as someone who grew up in New England and is steeped in how old this fucking place is, but yet how old it's not compared to England.
I have to pause.
Yeah.
You grew up in New England.
No, grew up in, New Jersey to me now is a part of that, like the Northeast. Okay, let me take that again. I need to be very specific with my language. You're right. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
You're so right.
I grew up in the Northeast. Where the original 13 colonies are, right? A part of our history as a country that I heard so much about growing up that it was like the only thing that had ever happened was that these dudes came over from England.
Jodie, I know New Jersey, we've got a lot of it. If you grew up 10 minutes from Philadelphia, so all of your field trips and family trips were to Philly and not New York, do you know how many fucking times I have been in the
went to the Liberty Bell?
Well, the Liberty Bell too, but the goddamn Betsy Ross house. I could draw you a map right now of the Betsy Ross house.
I know. And the number of places in New Jersey that claim that Washington slept there.
Yes.
It's every other house.
Yes.
Like, I probably could claim that Washington slept in my house in Glen Rock, and people would believe me.
And it's funny is I didn't realize that I just assumed it was true. He was just traveling along, and we somehow knew.
He just crashed with a lot of folks.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He was couch surfing before it was a thing.
I was literally in my mid-30s making a podcast about New Jersey before it was brought to my attention that there's no way.
Yeah, no, that was my general point, which is that the Puritan lore is something that anyone who has grown up in the original 13 colonies, especially closer to the New England side of things, is very familiar with. And as someone who now lives in New England and whose family is all up here now, like both of my brothers are in northern New England, one is in Maine, like for years, every Christmas present from him was from LL Bean. Like, it's a very specific vibe that they're doing very well.
I can't believe I'm going to bring this up. I can't believe I'm going to give you the opportunity.
Okay.
How much bigger than Plymouth Rock? I can't believe I'm asking you this. Is the Glen Rock?
Oh, I am so excited you're asking me this.
I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm regretting it already.
Did you know that it's a glacial erratic?
If I know anything about the Glen Rock,
you know that it's a glacial erratic.
I know that it's a glacial erratic.
And that it was a significant location for the Lenape.
That's right.
Yeah. They used it as a trail marker, a place to build signal fires, and a throne for chiefs when presiding over meetings.
I know you said chiefs. It did sound like cheese, and I was like, throne for cheese is a great idea.
Cheese.
It's a great idea. I haven't given you the chance to talk about the Glen Rock enough on this podcast lately.
I appreciate you saying that.
I know that you need that to survive.
Famously, I startled you with it at one point.
Yes.
Early in our time together.
That's what I was going to say, actually, because what you might not know about the Glen Rock is anything, listeners, because despite Jodie and the rest of Bergen County's belief, nobody knows or gives a shit about the Glen Rock if you're not from Bergen County. But it is just a big-ass rock in the middle of the street.
Sure is. It's got to drive around it.
So crazy.
Yeah. So it is a 570-ton boulder. Yep. It is has a height of 22 feet.
It's like tall.
It's yes. It is the height of one of the large light posts next to it.
It's like 3. I don't know how tall Shaquille O'Neal is, but he's probably about 7 feet, right? It's like 3 Shaquilles.
Yeah, so 3 Shaquille O'Neals, exactly.
Which is how we measure anything tall in New Jersey, is in Shaquilles. As a North native, right. Shaquille himself.
Yes, famously, that's the standard of measurement in New Jersey.
And the rock is 3 Shaquilles.
Yes. Apparently, remember this is now turning into a New Jersey is the World episode, but remember when we had all those conversations about East Jersey and West Jersey?
Yes.
And how that was actually a distinction, that it was a historical distinction, it was a colonial boundary, it also makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
As of 1928, the Glen Rock was the only remaining fixed marker that had been used to delineate the colonial boundary dividing East and West New Jersey.
Wow. Okay. Now, wow. Jodie, you taught me so much about the Glen Rock. That's the first thing that I've cared about this whole time. That's great. That's really good to know.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's 22 feet high, 12 feet long, 570 tons.
It's so big.
It's the largest glacial erratic found atop Triassic bedrock in the state of New Jersey. It's not native to the Newark Basin. Its exact location of origin is uncertain. Really cool. Yep. It was carried between 10 and 20 miles from the New Jersey highlands to its current location as glaciers receded during the end of the last ice age. The 71 report is that it came from the New Jersey highlands to its current location, and the 2009 report says that it came from the Hudson Valley area in New York State.
Okay.
Because it's similar to the bedrock of the highlands and the Hudson Valley.
So fucking typical of New York.
Yeah. We claim Hudson Valley versus Jersey. Yeah. Anyway, why were we talking about this? The size of it versus the Plymouth Rock?
Yes, that's all.
So, size of the Plymouth Rock.
I'm just going to guess that...
It's tiny. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck? It's a rock that's surrounded by a little fence.
You're like, y'all, that's not a rock.
That's not a rock. Have you been to Glen Rock? The first photo that comes up when you Google Plymouth Rock is hilarious.
It's so small.
It's a rock surrounded by some sand, and the people looking down on it, it's so funny because they're looking down on this little rock. Like, if you put a person next to the Glen Rock, they're looking, unless there's 3 shacks on top of each other, they're looking up at it.
3 shacks in a trench coat.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
I think the Blarney Stone is bigger than Plymouth Rock. And just nomenclature-wise, a stone is smaller than a rock.
Yes.
And so it's not even named appropriately. I said stone, so South Jersey. A stone.
You really did. A stone. Yes. The Plymouth Rock weighs approximately 4 tons. The part that's above the visible part. The larger part weighs the bottom part weighs approximately 6 tons. So altogether, that is a 10-ton rock. The Glen Rock is 570 tons.
Now I'm on the Glen Rock side. Glen Rock eats the Plymouth Rock for fucking breakfast.
Yes.
On a bagel from?
Oh, Hot Bagels in Fairlawn on Saddle River Road.
I'll take your word for it.
It is so wee. It literally is maybe 3 feet wide.
Little bitch ass rock.
According to the Reddit post that came up when I Googled the Plymouth Rock and how big it is the Plymouth Rock is quite literally a large rock in a cage. It is nowhere near the size of my imagination or anything I remembered learning in school.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to say one more thing about it and then we can move on.
I don't care if our whole podcast is about the Plymouth Rock, honestly. Like, you know what you're here for.
The most South Jersey thing that has ever happened on this podcast, which is I have talked so much shit about the Glen Rock. The second it's in competition with another state's rock, I'm suddenly its biggest defender.
Yep. That is very New Jersey. Famously, when you meet someone from, this is a Chris Gethard and you conversation, but when you meet someone from Jersey outside of the state, it doesn't matter what part they're from.
Nope.
You're like all from the same place, even if you've never heard of half of the towns where they live.
Which is always the case for me when I meet someone from Jersey outside of Jersey. No one knows where I'm from.
Gibbsboro is a real place.
That's right.
So all that to say. The Puritan vibes here are great,
Mm-hmm.
as is Betty Gilpin's perfect tightrope walk of meek, terrified Puritan woman in a horror movie and Parks and Rec character looking at the camera every now and then, even though she's not actually like cracking a joke. Yeah.
She's astounding. This show is full of so many great actors, but I was just so on board with her, and I'm not super familiar with her.
Yeah, I know her from Glow, and she was great in Glow.
But yeah,
she's perfect. She has that like Northeast Puritan face.
She really
also
does. She does not have iPhone face.
No, she has Puritan face. She is obviously in fear for her life from her husband pretty much immediately. Every time she asks someone before she meets him if he's a good man, they are like, so anyway, let's talk about something else. But I was looking on Reddit and they mentioned something about, like, not to jump ahead, but like at the end of this episode, she and the 5 children escape on a boat. The wife of the doctor is a zombie, gets shoved into the water, most likely turning into the sea hag in my head anyway. But the idea is that at the end of episode 7, they think the curse is broken because they have killed off still animated, I was going to say reanimated, the still animated corpse of Richard Warren. But clearly there's another descendant, at least one. Right.
And our first hint of that is way back in episode 2.
In the hotel.
Right. Oh, no. Episode 1. Doesn't matter, but it is our first shot of the painting when he says, like, I thought you were going to get rid of, take down the more challenging ones or whatever.
Yes. And so we get another shot of that painting in episode 7 that is directly focused on a small child in the water. And also, notably, there is a hand holding possibly an oar coming from the right side that is shown. So clearly, one of the kids survived.
One of the kids survived, and that kid is clearly very young. And depending on who rescued them, it's possible they don't even know, like even the person who rescued them, that it was Richard Warren's kid.
Right.
And
so maybe just to tackle that bit now, since we're kind of not considering this in any specific order, the thing that you and I both noted when watching it was that when the still animated corpse of Richard Warren is in his gift shop, he wants to see his children's things. The daughter's doll is in the case, but it is not wearing the brooch that Sarah gave her. And so then the Reddit detectives also noted, I'm not going to claim that I saw this, that when they were opening the locked box in Tom's bedroom.
Is there a fucking brooch in there?
There's not a brooch. They didn't make it that obvious. But there is a box, like a jewelry style little box, that is just the right size for a brooch.
Okay. Huh.
So the running theory that I think I now subscribe to is that Wick's wife is a descendant, and therefore so is Evan.
Wick's wife, you say?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean Wick. Tom's wife. Tom's wife is a descendant, and therefore so is Evan.
It's funny. I love and trust this show so much that when we were talking about the brooch as a clue yesterday or whenever it was, I was like, I think it might be a little too obvious for it to be Tom's wife. Mm-hmm. And now as soon as you said there's a hint that it could be her, I'm like, that's fine. Okay. I'll allow it.
It wasn't my first thought either, but then it makes so much sense because it's like, if we want to put Tom in a really desperate position, the one thing he cares the most about is protecting his son, and then his son is the descendant of the person that he just like took a Jaws boat out to dispose of. Like,
right.
So I think it's a perfect, like, as many of these old wives' tales, so to speak, are parables or lessons, like, it's perfectly fitting for it to be his son that is the one that he has to reckon with.
That's totally true. I liked the idea of it maybe being Patricia, though.
I know, but I feel like and there's nothing to say there can't be more than one. It's a probably inbred island if no one can
That's
leave.
A good point.
Like everyone's probably somehow related.
Especially, up until,
But then someone else on Reddit did point out that, and I noted how weird the wedding vows were, and I kind of took it as a joke. But again, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, it's a joke, but is it? Because in the vows, the priest said that love can't be drowned. And so it's like, maybe she didn't drown. Maybe she survived somehow. But she's not from the island, so she could get off the island. Frances, the little girl, would die if she got off the island. So she had to go back to the island.
Right.
But I do think there's something to, like, all of the leaders of the island being kind of conscripted into this covenant with the island. And now Tom has eaten the mushrooms, whether intentionally or not. He is now also conscripted into some sort of covenant with this island. He just may not totally realize it yet. Because it came to him.
It did come to him.
And Richard asks if he followed it, and he said no, but like the island or the demon or whatever the fuck it is uses desperate men. Right.
And it'll
Tom
come
is desperate.
back. Like I don't imagine that if you say no to this dark entity, that it's like, all right, cool. Can't hurt to ask.
Okay. Yeah. I also, so speaking of other things that we made connections to this episode, the church bell tolling and then Richard having to go, like that seems to be a signal from the island that like a sacrifice is needed or something like that, because shortly after it rang, even though it was chained up, Bryce, the priest, killed himself.
Right.
After looking through all of that paperwork and finding out like the horrors of what had happened before him, most likely some sort of human sacrifice.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, I think that church bell, like, we knew it meant something, especially that it was going off while chained up. But the fact that it goes off and then immediately Richard leaves because he has work to do is
it's
like,
totally.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is dark. So please know that I know this is dark.
Okay.
And we know Tom, and I think we care about him too much for this to be able to be true. Is it, and I'm still mostly on the side of, actually, now I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to give you every thought I'm having right now, and we can work through them. I was about to say, I'm still firmly in the camp of, or majority of my belief is that Sarah is likely alive.
You mean Lauren?
I mean Lauren. Is that Lauren is likely alive.
But the show is making us make those parallels.
Right. Good point, yes. But then the fact that what we're pointing to now is at some point we're going to get to the last person in the legacy that has to be killed.
Yeah.
And for it to be Lauren, for us to find out she's alive, but has to, like, it just feels a little messier just than it's Evan.
Yeah, right.
So now I'm back and forth on that. But now this is the dark thought, unless you want to say something about that first.
No, God.
So here's the dark thought I'm having. Is this, it's not, but could it be the kind of show where we find out that, because we know that Lauren lived much longer than we assumed, like at least a year or more. That little kid is in those pictures.
Yeah, it's like a toddler.
Is it possible that the island demanded a sacrifice back then? And we've said, like, if Tom was part of any of this, he's blocked it out. Is it possible that because she was in such an altered state, he couldn't handle it? It was scaring him. We know that this is another show of also there's misogyny. We know what, like, postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis is something that's not talked about very often, that he was more willing to offer her up than we might have expected.
So, I understand why you're asking that, but I think your first instinct that is not this show is the correct one.
Right.
I think that Tom, having generally a good heart and being a desperate guy, if anything, I could see him allowing her to be taken away, not to be sacrificed to him, like in his mind, but to be cared for in possibly an old hospital on the island that you're not allowed to go to. Right? Like, which
would be bad enough, especially in this show, to be like, you know, understandable in a kind of way.
Because I don't think Tom knows about the fact that the island demands a sacrifice.
I think that's true.
I think he knows weird shit's going on, and that maybe he believes a lot more of the supernatural evil shit than he lets on, and he's trying to block it out. But I don't think he has any idea that the island is like demanding human sacrifice, because he's constantly shocked by everything going on around him.
That's and even if it were subconscious, like we said, something that he had buried, like we'd
have a sense of it.
Yeah.
So I could see it being like his wife was in this stupor that he, they tried to make it work. He couldn't shake her out of it. They put her away, and like they don't speak of her because it's better for Evan for him not to have a zombie for a mom.
Exactly.
Right? So, and also because these people who get infected with this quote unquote madness seem to then become violent.
Yes, that's a really good point.
And so if she's violent around the kid, it's really easy to be like, okay, she can't be here. Because it seems like in our plague-infested 1702 village, the people that are getting infected, they start with a headache, then they get yellow eyes, or eyes filled with yellow moons. The way they said it was really interesting. And then they get, like, then the one example is they went to see the guy the next morning, and he was, like, gouging out his wife's eyes. So they all get violent at the end.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. And I know that what I'm about to say is very obvious, but that's another cool thing of now we know what the plague looks like because we got this flashback without them having to bring it actively into episode 7 in such an on-the-nose way, so we can be watching for
and it
more subtle
reflects
signs.
Back to Shep, right?
Yes, exactly.
He gets violent, he attacks Tom, and then he dies because I don't remember why, but he dies. And so we now can reflect back and be like, oh, that's what that was.
Yep.
Right? And then the bell tolls. And so the island wants a sacrifice. They haven't given it one. The priest finds out that's what he's supposed to do, and he kills himself.
Right.
Maybe thinking he'll be the sacrifice, but I guess the island doesn't care about suicide.
That doesn't seem to
be, it doesn't seem to count. So and we see that the chair under the house, the gross chair with the doors in front of it is there. And so and the coolest thing to me, this is so stupid, but I was like, when she pops out of the well, I was like, that's how the well connects. There we go. Like I've got a mental map now. Like the well's over here, the house is over here, and there's a tunnel, and it goes like little winding way, and then there's a door, and you go in the door, and there's a chair. Cool, got it.
Yeah. That was maybe one of my favorite things about these two paired
episodes. I wanted a little illustration, like a little old-timey map with house.
That's exactly how I feel too. Really kind of like building out. It's the same way I've been building out a mental map of the pit ED.
Right. Exactly. So it made me really happy to kind of put all those dots together. In the it's also misogyny camp of this whole thing, all of the jokes about Sarah and her role as his new wife were so fun. Okay, this is one of my biggest laughs was when she goes and is talking to the committee minister or whatever before the committee. Before that, okay.
And she's terrified because she's just watched him murder what's his name. And she's talking to that pastor, and she's doing such a good job of playing terrified, but she manages to be so funny when she's like, I could learn. She's like talking about being almost 40 and going back. And
I have the exact line because it's so good.
Please share it.
She says, perhaps the life of a childless woman without a husband is one that I could come to bear. Enjoy. I am but 4 and 10 years almost. Allow me to wither in my father's attic.
And just the way she delivers it. The fact that, because we talk about them, the tone being the horror comedy and the but she's doing them both at the same time. Yep. It is
There's a couple of other moments like that where the one I was thinking of that I thought you were talking about is when she bursts into the committee meeting and she's like, Richard Warren is alive, and then she realizes that she's supposed to be polite. She does a little curtsy, like a little yep.
We tack that on, and she gives them a little chop when she's like, "Here's the plan. Let's go get them," and clap clap. Really good.
And then of course the moment when the assassin comes and is about to kill her, and she just
gives a really aggressive point.
A really aggressive point for our listeners because they can't see me.
Yeah, that was the most Mel Brooksian. I told you it reminded me of Top Secret because I know that's your reference, or like Airplane.
It was also sort of Monty Python. Like
Monty Python,
when they
yes.
walked into the Puritan village, I kept hearing "Bring Out Your Dead" in my
yeah.
head.
Totally.
Not dead yet.
Yeah,
I feel happy.
Monty Python might actually be closer, but it's just in that sort of milieu.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of echoes of present day in this that we've talked about already, but there's also the fact that like when they send the assassin to kill Richard Warren, they stab him a bunch of times and he doesn't die, just like they tried to shoot the boogeyman a bunch of times and he doesn't die. They sealed the boogeyman in concrete underneath his house. He is definitely still alive in there.
He is definitely alive.
Yep.
And the thing I am most excited for to happen on this show is for Patricia's story to be corroborated by the boogeyman himself.
Patricia's vindication. Absolutely.
This boogeyman who has been buried. You know what I want? I want us to find out that every 50 years or whatever, just the way this island goes, the people of the town or the island end up having to bury somebody alive.
Bury him alive.
And they all start a support group as they get dug up.
Well, Richard Warren missed his chance for that because now he's a bunch of bones and Vienna sausages. Mm-hmm. But I just texted you randomly as I was watching the second episode something about Vienna sausages.
No, you didn't text me something about Vienna sausages.
What did I say?
Vienna sausages!
Oh, that's all
exclamation point. Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
So as someone who grew up lower middle class in the 90s and 80s, specifically 80s actually, and had a dad with a lot of food issues who liked trains.
Yep, got it.
And vintage cars. He ate a lot of canned food.
That makes sense.
There was a lot of Vienna sausages. There was a lot of canned Chef Boyardee. And there was a lot of, weirdly, herring in jars. Like...
My grandfather was
fish.
Norwegian, so
Yeah.
I grew up with all kinds of canned and jarred fish in my life.
My dad was English, but like he was also older. So I feel like that's an older man thing.
Yeah, you get to a certain age
and you just start eating
just
fish.
Become more
out of
open
jars.
to jarred fish, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I also so we've got lots of different echoes. So we have the echo of all the mayors, right? The mushrooms. I did think it was really funny that the character of Richard Warren very seriously believes that, like, I think because of the time maybe, that like he didn't just have a weird mushroom trip. Like the mushrooms are the way the island spoke to him.
Right.
And I don't think that Tom is totally there yet.
No.
But we'll get there, I think. Oh, one of those great Betty Gilpin moments that took me out of the horror of it for a brief moment was when they were talking about her taking care of the children. They said, "Consider the welfare of your children." She says, "My children, I have but just met them. These aren't my kids."
She's so good. Even that line delivery is like, she kind of knows it's not quite the right thing to say, but it is how she feels. And
yeah.
The first Sarah laugh for me was when she gives that youngest child the brooch, which in a more serious movie, that would be a very sweet thing that comes back later.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the kids are like, well, what about us? And she's like, mayhaps tomorrow we'll bring more tokens.
Right. Yeah. And then finally, like, there's a bunch more little ones, but when he finally drinks the brandy that's got the poison in it or the sedative, and he makes her drink some, and she just kind of like bloops it out.
The way she bloops it out, she really just like, bleh.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so funny.
Again, every choice the people in this show are making is perfect. There are other ways you could have done that. That's the best one.
Yeah, it really is. And so, again, we get a big lore drop with them burying Richard alive, the committee, and him shouting, like, the pact must be honored. It needs a sacrifice. It spoke to me through the mushrooms, just in case you missed any of those clues along the way.
Yes.
Which would normally annoy me, but it was like, actually, thank you for that clarity. Just to make sure I knew what I was following along with.
Right, exactly.
And I mentioned it already, but the quick cut to it going black, you going, is that the end of the episode? Is there going to be a coda of any kind? What are we going to find out? And then the headlights of the car come on and you're like, we're back in the present. Wait. And Wick is digging.
It's so good.
To the tune of Brandy, which is perfect.
Just.
Yeah.
Again, a perfect show.
Yes.
So far.
Yeah, and I think that having the episode end with Wick is like, there's a lot of moments in the last few episodes where Wick has struck me not only as someone who is like the sort of man of faith, man of science dichotomy, right? Like, not only is the guy that's the believer, but that he has more of a connection to the history of this island than we're being led to understand so far.
Absolutely.
Like, when Jerry is reading the letter in the Historical Society, there's a moment where his face changes slightly that I've been kind of fixated on, where it's like there's a bit of recognition or something that happens. It could just be an acting choice that doesn't mean anything. But then in the next episode, which we're about to talk about, when they're on the boat and Richard starts singing the sea shanty, he says, "You know this one, Wick."
You know this one, Wick. Yep.
He knows Wick. Like, it's not just that they just met in, like, something else is going on with Wick. Wick has been around longer than we think, or something. Like, we suspected Wick might have been mayor at one point, which would mean he was the leader of the island.
A couple of things with you saying he knows Wick. One is, like, I don't know that what you're saying is, and maybe this is a possibility, but that, like, Wick is 300 years old, though I would love to learn that. But one thing you and I have clocked that I don't know I haven't seen anybody else talking about too much, so I don't know if maybe it's us being a little over. I don't know. But it does seem like time moves weird on this island.
Yeah.
And so,
well, Shep was apparently 37, which also I wondered if it was a Clerks reference, which would be a very
37.
weird Clerks reference. But
if
37,
as someone from Jersey, if I have to pick a random number, often it's going to be 37.
Try not to suck any dicks on your way across the parking lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, like, even if it's not intentional, it's possible that.
Yeah. Now that I know that we have listeners, at least 2 in Australia, I'm like, have they ever seen Clerks? And if not, what the hell did they think we're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, why am I just randomly...
Always. And we're never going to tell them. They'll just have to watch
They'll have to watch
to find
Clerks.
out. And then, but the other thing I'm thinking is, Richard is buried in that cemetery. How much is he overhearing? I know it's like it's underground, but I was like, curious about, like,
how aware is he, kind of?
Yeah, of, like, anything on that island. Like, did he hear the bell?
Right, because, like, I assumed at first that it was, like, basically death, but not, like, you know, like, he was awoken, sort of. Mm-hmm. But then he talks about how all he thought about underneath the ground was his children dying. And so that implies, obviously, that he was not just in a coma, essentially.
330, whatever.
Right.
1702 to... Don't make me do the math.
No, I won't.
324 years.
I would never make you do that.
Give you such a crick in the neck. So Aladdin. No reason for that to be in there.
Yeah, the fact that I got that immediately too. Aladdin. Okay, so that's a weird. I'm not a person who automatically believes in supernatural things, but I'm also not someone that thinks it's impossible. Mm-hmm. Do you know what movie I watched on my first terrible acid trip that was 12 hours long when I was trying to calm down at like 6 a.m. at like hour 12?
Was it Aladdin?
It was Aladdin.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was the thing that made me feel like maybe I would be okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And here it is again.
Here it is again. Telling you.
I love stuff like that. Moments of synchronicity.
Yes. So should we go on to episode 7, even though we've already kind of talked about bits of it?
Yeah, I think so.
So I love that they skipped just enough time that we have some fun discoveries, right?
Yes.
So we find out Tom has been out for like 12 hours or a full day, actually.
Hold on. As soon as they made mention that they were going to bury him alive, or as soon as it became clear that that's what's going to happen, I texted you and I was like, are we going to meet Richard Warren in the present? There's something.
I had already seen it, so I couldn't say anything.
Like Encino Man, Forever Young. I just have it's like one of those weird specific genres that I love, which is someone even like Mannequin and Mannequin 2 on the move.
Oh my God.
In a way of like someone from the past.
Thank you for using its full title.
Yes, thank you. Of course, set in Philadelphia, of somebody from the past being brought to the present and having to like just contend with.
It's also
you know what else?
Splash.
Austin Powers.
Yes.
Oh, Splash.
Not from the past, but from the ocean.
Yeah, like fish out of water kind of thing. Like any of those is you're getting so. I see you.
I didn't say anything.
I know it gets better every time.
I'm working on it.
That's great. I just really love that. So I was so excited at the possibility.
Well, and it's fun because like we end with Wick digging up the grave, and we don't know if Tom is around, if he knows this is happening, and then we go to Tom. We find out he's been out. All I could think about as someone who has lots of chronic illnesses, how bad his legs would have hurt if he fell asleep like that, sitting on the bathroom floor, holding onto the toilet.
You're so right. Just all scrungled up. Not
on
good.
the hard tile floor. Mm-hmm. Not the point. Anyway, we get to discover, as Tom does, what's been happening while we were out, right? So they go to the Historical Society, and this shit's already happened. Patty is shaking. Right? We're like, oh my God, what else happened besides that after they dug up the grave, right? Wick has a bandage on his hand. Mm-hmm. And the whole time, Matthew Rhys somehow manages to have the same what the fuck reaction over and over again, but have a little bit of different nuance each time. So it doesn't get like annoying. Mm-hmm. Richard Warren is upstairs. He's not in the coffin anymore.
No, he's upstairs.
Oh, this is such a great stretch of Patricia moments.
She's so good. I also love that this is a golden trio where they're all a little hapless. Mm-hmm. Like Wick mostly has it together, but he's so over like he's so like activated all the time or like agitated that he like that's his, but they're all really kind of fumbling, and Patricia is
so good, like
really trying to muddle through this.
There's the multiple times she comes into the room and scares the shit out of him because she forgot her purse. Right. But
I'll give you to your privacy.
My favorite Patricia moment, though, is the note. The notepad. The first page, hi, I am Patricia. Second page, are you mad at something I said?
Are you mad at something I said? Immediate. Just.
Yeah.
I understand.
Tom's conversation with him. Mm-hmm. Again, another like jump/laugh when he actually talks, and you're like, why are you writing notes to him if he can speak?
Yeah. They didn't even try to find out if.
No, apparently not.
Talk. They just assumed. I don't know how that.
Yeah, it's like, well, if we've broken science to the point where this guy is still alive after being underground for 300 years with no food or water, like, why would we think then he just has no voice?
Or that, like, yeah. I also love Tom's note too, because I'm Mayor Loftus, whatever. Anyway, what is your name?
Yeah, I know.
Is he just being polite, like giving Richard Warren a chance to identify himself?
Yeah. I was concerned. So this came up with Blair Witch. The idea that if you're trying to do something creepy, it's creepier not to show it. Once you show it, then you see the seams, you see the like makeup of it all and the prosthetics or whatever. I was really worried about what Richard Warren was going to look like. And at first they're hiding his face and you're like, they're trying to make it as creepy as possible. By the end of this episode, he looks like a guy with a bunch of makeup on, but in a way that didn't bother me. It was very it felt very What We Do in the Shadows, Flight of the Conchords, like it was clearly a guy in makeup, and yet I didn't care anymore.
I am always pro practical. I am fine if something is less realistic if it is practical.
And it also kind of fit the story because when he first is exhumed, he's basically like a walking pile of rags. Like he is shaky and like can't walk very well. And by the end, he looks like a man. He's got his sea legs back, literally.
It's like breathing life back into him.
Yeah, like the boat is rocking and Matthew Rhys is flying off a bench and he's standing perfectly stable. Like, so it makes a little bit more sense that in the beginning we can't really see him and he's just this like shaky figure.
There's also something about the tone of the show that allows for it. 'Cause something I didn't say when we were talking about episode 6 is it reminded me of one of those like historical reenactment towns more than that, like them actually trying to feel period specific. Like it just felt more like going to like Old Stonehouse Village in South Jersey, or I've never been to
Wild West City.
Wild West City, but like a
city running
version of
wild.
that. So then to have him look like
sorry, I'm getting like that's not Wild West City. That's another commercial.
You've been activated though.
Yeah, I have been.
So him looking like somebody from like a haunted hayride or haunted house just
Yes.
kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't care. Yeah.
I thought I would care, and then I didn't, because I think they kind of also eased us into it.
Yes. Yes.
The fact that he signed that pact with blood, feces, and semen.
All three.
Don't need all three. One is enough.
Why all three? What's going on?
Blood's usually enough for the demons.
Blood's usually plenty.
Yeah.
And then again, Tom's response to that of like dropping it and like wiping his
hands. I'm glad that, so we got so much about that capsule, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm actually like, there's so many pitfalls that someone who is like kind of a skeptic of the supernatural stuff naturally, even though I don't really like that about myself, pitfalls they could fall into where it's like the capsule contains like the beating heart of the island or whatever. No, it's a pact he fucking signed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course. Perfect. It's a little scroll. Wonderful.
Yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah.
The little symbol on the scroll, I didn't go back to look, but you know when in Beach Reads, when we get the reveal of what the party actually looks like, and there are those Blair Witchy kind of twig sculptures.
Yeah.
Do you remember, or did you notice if any of those were of a similar shape?
I didn't, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just curious. But again, this is a show where I don't feel, if this were Yellow Jackets, I would have been
like really fixated on what that says.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if they are the same, it's going to come back. They're going to let us know. We find out that the mechanism that the episode is going to kind of hinge on is that he is the last of his bloodline. Once he is dead, this curse will end, theoretically. And so the only way to kill him is by taking him outside the bounds of the island itself.
I really like this. I like how concrete this is.
Yeah, very smart.
And I'd been wondering about how, like, the ferry, obviously the ferry is somebody off island, but like how the fishermen and Wick and all have managed, and that they
have a
just
system.
know what the boundary is.
Yep.
And
they have an alarm. They have buoys. Yep.
Yeah.
It's marked on the map. I love a map. I want more maps in this show.
Yes.
But so he says, "Take me out to sea," and we get our Jaws farce. There's so many fun references in here. There's the harpoon. There's the fact that Tom's the only one wearing the life jacket. There's the sea shanty. There's like the trio of guys that all have like their various levels of experience with the ocean, and like
this
in
is
Jaws,
their first big action scene of the series, I think, and it takes place on the boat. Like, yeah,
and the boat is like listing and shifting and feels like it might sink, and there's all this like we find out that Wick thinks that he was grabbed by like a kraken of some sort, which it could have been, who knows, or it could have just been his friend trying to survive. But that also gives us another bit of historical lore and understanding, which is that he and Jerry were high school sweethearts, it seems like, but then he basically let her brother die, and you would assume then that the guilt or whatever would like keep him from staying with her. But man, I loved all the Jaws references, mostly just because I just watched it. But like in Jaws, the new police chief is from elsewhere. He's from the city, right? And he comes in and he's the one that wants to close the beach. He doesn't go in the water. He's like afraid of the ocean and he doesn't like to swim. And then he has to go on the boat. And that's why he's wearing that life jacket the whole time. And it's very much like, we don't know anything about Tom goes in the ocean to do the inaugural swim. So he does swim, but like he doesn't seem comfortable with it.
No.
So there's all those parallels that are really, really fun. Like when he said grab the harpoon, I was like, okay, here we go.
Even the line delivery of that, it's perfect.
Here we go.
Grab the harpoon.
Yep.
So great. That could have been an hour-long sequence and I would have been happy. It was so fun to watch all of that.
And there were so many fun, like, little jump scares, like when Wick and Tom are talking and Tom, like, looks up and Richard's just sitting at the table staring at him. So good.
Because they can, you've watched it, listeners, but Richard is bound in the coffin. He's asking to get out. Mm-hmm. Tom goes to tell Wick that. Wick is going off about why they can't let him out. And then they hear the noise and it's like,
I already did.
Yeah. The fuck you exchange before that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I laughed just out loud. So good.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That to me read very Flight of the Conchords, What We Do in the Shadows, like the breaking of the fourth wall and just being like, instead of speaking in Puritan, how dare you, blah blah blah. It's like
straight
fuck
up,
you.
fuck you.
Yeah,
loved that.
But also there's a reference to the dead zone, which is what the sailors refer to as the area beyond the buoys, which of course is a Stephen King title.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But just to wrap up, let's wrap this up and then we can talk about like the Evan of it all. But it's such a nice mirroring moment because Wick talks about kind of kicking his friend off of him and how the guilt of that has like eaten away at him. He doesn't say that, but it's pretty clear. And then Tom he gives Wick the life preserver and then kicks him off the boat so that he can get the boat past the buoy, which is really smart because once again, Wick can't go past the buoy.
Yeah.
And so it's literally like in the moment we think, oh my God, he's sending him overboard, that the Kraken's in there. But also if he doesn't, he can't go across the border because Wick can't be on the other side of it.
Exactly.
So he's also saving him.
He's saving him. And there's something about how Wick gave him so much shit about not being able to play Ding Dong Ditch, or Knock Knock Zoom Zoom, as we called it in my days. I don't know. Yeah, if that was regional or what.
But think it was.
Yeah, it's not as good of a, the alliteration isn't there, but the difference between where like he doesn't knock him overboard until he has figured out a way to hopefully keep him alive.
Yeah.
Not that I'm blaming a young Wick for not having had
No, he was
that
16
thought,
and thought a Kraken was getting him.
Right, exactly. But I do think there's something there to how that moment is paralleled but different.
Yeah. There's also when Wick is telling that story, he's like, Jerry Doyle? Museum Jerry from the historical... Yes, Jerry, Jesus Christ. The fact that they take the time for those little jokey moments makes me so happy.
It's, again, we talk a lot about like shows that are confident in what they're doing. And you can show like that it can slow down a little bit to just do that funny beat in the middle of something serious. And it doesn't feel anything other than like a fun little gift for us it's just great.
And this whole time, like you're getting, as soon as he lets Richard out of the coffin, I think if you watch it even one extra time, you'll notice how Richard is getting more and more strong throughout the episode. And then he's like scarfing Vienna sausages and Tom's trying not to throw up.
I like that that's what made him so strong, though.
Yeah.
If this were set in Jersey, it would be pork roll.
I'm not gonna fight it. Not gonna fight you on it. You know what I'm gonna say.
I guess it would depend on where in Jersey it's set.
That's true. So, but he succeeds. He did a really good job. They get past the buoy. Richard Warren turns into a bunch of bones and Vienna sausages, and they think they're good. I don't, but...
I don't either. I do love... Oh, man, do I love a curmudgeon with a heart of gold. Wick, he comes in so bedraggled, so waterlogged, and... like he's being really gruff about it, and there's gonna be a moment where he gives a little bit and he says you did good, and then I just love the one up of Tom being like, no, motherfucker, I didn't do good. I did really fucking good.
Exactly.
Good for you, Tom.
Yeah, and he did. But also, like, as the series goes on, like at first we were like, man, Wick's really mean to Tom. Tom sucks at his job. This is the first time he's done something right.
Yeah, like, exactly.
I understand now why Wick is like,
and you're
hapless.
Yeah, we haven't had it confirmed, but I do think Wick either was mayor or was in the, although Tom ran unopposed, but either way, like.
Well, so like what happened to Wick when he was mayor? Because I think he was probably, I don't know that for a fact, obviously, but like it's one of those, I could see it being like he was mayor and then he lost his mind and now he's the kooky guy on the island that you're like, oh, Wick's really a little nuts. But it's really because of the island. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I did, though, worry because, again, as I mentioned, I just watched Jaws. In Jaws, the old guy dies. Spoiler alert for a 50-year-old movie. He goes off the boat. He dies. Jaws eats him, essentially. And that's the sort of like the thing that has to happen for the other two to survive, essentially.
Son of a bitch.
Exactly. And so I was really worried when Wick went off the boat.
Yeah,
that he was going to get killed. But thank God.
Especially this, we're, halfway through. We're past the halfway through point of the season. It wouldn't have been...
Right.
But
I
wouldn't
you
have
can't
liked
get
it.
rid of Stephen Root, man. He's doing too good of a job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they think that they've done it.
But we know.
We know it's only episode 7.
Yes, exactly.
It's only episode 7 and hopefully a multi-season show.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 7 and hopefully a multi-season show. But another thing is, the way this has established itself is in a similar way of the X-Files, where it's like Monster of the Week-ish. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get, but also the myth arc stuff. But like those myth arc episodes will often take place over the course of a season and some major thing will wrap up.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a new part or a new layer. And I just wonder is there a possibility that we get to the end of the last of the bloodline mystery, like what
where did they go from there? I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Is that the big thing they're trying to uncover as the seasons go? Or another thing it could be is they do put that to bed for a little while. We don't revisit it and find out later in season 2 or something, like the brooch comes back.
So yeah, I too wonder if they've revealed at episode 7 that the thing they have to do is to kill off the bloodline. If that's the only thing they have to do, that gives you a limited runway, right? And so as we hope this is a multi-season show, I think we both trust that they have a plan because they've said they do, and they have shown no signs of not being sure-footed with this. But
right.
But it's interesting to think about, is this the big task or the big mission? Right, or is there something beyond
project
it?
Of the show, right?
Yeah.
Because there are two ways. So one way to play it is we're the only ones now. There's some dramatic irony going on here, which is we know that there is a successor. What's the word?
Right. Yeah, descendant.
Descendant. They don't. And so it could be that they're like, next season is shit still happening, and then being like, we did the thing we needed to do. What else is going on? And then they discover it. Could also be that they figure it out this season.
I think we're going to because there's so much Evan stuff happening.
Right. But then there still needs to be something. Either way, whatever mystery is solved at the end of this season, there's got to be something behind it. And
I think that we're going to get some sort of tie-in with Evan and his mom and the descendant piece of it before the end of this season, because they're really paralleling it. So when we talk about the myth arc stories, Evan is one of them. We just haven't quite realized it until recently. His story has been threaded through, but we thought it was annoying teenager, lost his mom, rebelling, dad's being controlling, blah, blah, blah. Now each episode we're getting these little reveals. And in this one, it is to me, lighting a match for Evan, because we find out that not only is his dad in his head being controlling, but his dad has been lying to him this whole time, that his mom was still alive. She didn't die in childbirth. And was alive for a while.
Yeah.
And it may still be.
That was shocking even for me.
Yeah.
To see that, not that she was still alive, because we've been floating that theory, but that she was still involved. I thought when we saw her in that hospital bed that
she never got out. Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. And they did a really good job with those photos to make her look vacant enough that it's is she there but not there with the kid, and that's why they take her away? Or is she normal? Like, it could just be a candid shot, but the photos were... And I will say, so Kingston Rumi Southwick, who plays Evan, he's been playing a very, to me, a little bit one-note annoying teenager, because that's what he's been given.
Right, yeah.
That's the part he's had so far.
I think that does happen a lot with actors
yeah,
of that age.
But in Seven, he did some really good face acting. When he was looking at the photos, so the first photo is just of his mom, and he has this like really sweet smile that comes across his face really naturally. And then as he's flipping through the photos, you're watching his reaction, and it's really good. He does a great job of like very visibly shifting gears. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching him in that scene.
And the way he says, "I knew her," man, that really made me sad.
Yeah, heartbreaking. I also, just in terms of Easter eggs and references, the movie that they're watching, I don't know if you looked that up, that he and the Kelly, the annoying girl, are watching. It is called, I want to say it's Haunted Hotel, but that's not exactly it. It's a movie that, yeah, watching Haunted Hotel. It's Christopher Lee. And it is a movie that follows a college student who travels to the eerie, fog-drenched Massachusetts town of Whitewood to research witchcraft. She soon uncovers a dark secret. The town is controlled by a sinister immortal coven.
Come on.
And so,
Kate, yeah,
right as they go upstairs, because Kelly wants to snoop in her new friend's father's bedroom, which I don't trust any of these off-island girls, but... The last line on the TV before they do that is "Leave before it's too late."
Great.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
She really sucks, though. I don't like her at all.
These off-island girls,
No,
I
can't trust them.
I knew they were trouble. Yep.
There's two more things I want to touch on before we kind of wrap it up from this episode that we haven't mentioned yet. There's a funny one and just like a plot one. The funny one is the slapstick nonsense of Patricia slowly driving the sheriff's car away from him.
Oh my God.
Was the most like Lucille Ball.
Yes.
Like,
perfect. Yes.
So silly and ridiculous and wonderful. And Tom like watching her with his hand over his face, like just amazing. Like she's taking it for the team, but in the weirdest possible way.
Yeah. She's doing like when she first is trying to distract him, she's doing like a little, it reminded me of like the way you're supposed to scare bears away.
Hey bear.
Like yeah. Hey bear.
I hike. I know how to let bears know you're around.
It just reminded me a little bit of Hey Bear.
Yeah.
It's
very look over here.
Yes.
Look at this silly girl. You know, everything's fine. Turn around. Go away.
She's perfect.
Yeah. She realizes he's not going to, so.
Does that lead into the last series?
It does. So it leads into the petty conversation with the sheriff.
Yes, yeah.
Which is the other thing I wanted to talk about. So he's trying to find out what the fuck is going on, why everyone's being so weird, why he's getting all these calls. And she finally caves and starts to explain to him what's going on. And we don't get the whole conversation. And you know that she went on for so long about everything that's happened. And the sheriff's reaction is more than I ever could have expected and wanted.
It's what I was just going to say. It's what you want to happen in every one of these movies or shows, but movies.
Yes. And like, not to be essentialist or whatever, but like, there's certainly a trope that the black character dies first in a horror movie. And he's the only black person we've seen.
He's not going to let that happen.
Get that guy off that fucking island.
He's good.
He's so good. He says, I'm out. I'm good. He gives 1 week's notice, or he tells Patty to give Tom 1 week's notice. And so the one thing that I noted here that was interesting to me is there's a really specific beat where he says, you know, I've always been on your side. Which makes me wonder if he was around during when she was a kid, if he's been on the island for a while and knows about the boogeyman thing, you know, like it was a very specifically worded sentence, but yeah.
Interesting.
And so he's done. Patty, after all of that, goes, it might be fine tomorrow. He says, that sounds promising. Good luck to you all.
Also, I totally have put to bed any possibility that his wife isn't alive.
Yeah.
Because it can't be that he's trying to avoid getting all mixed up in all of this, but he already kind of is.
I will say, I don't, unfortunately for our sheriff, I don't think he's getting off the island anytime soon.
Yeah, you can't.
I think they're going to have to, they're needing his help.
Yes.
And
he will eventually, there'll be the scene where he's like, God damn it,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Although I think if Tom finds out that his wife is pregnant, if they're not from there, he will be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's true.
If his wife is pregnant. That's just something that we're kind of speculating.
Assuming, yeah.
But yeah, I do think that the sheriff needs to get a move on and get on a boat pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. What a
show.
What a show. My favorite thing, I was just telling a group of people I co-work with that it is my favorite show of the year for sure. It's so good.
I'm so glad that I checked it out. I was skeptical. I don't know why I was skeptical. I think just because when a show comes out of nowhere on Apple TV and there's no lead up to it and you don't know anything about it. And I didn't know that the producer, writer, creator was from Jersey. If I'd known that, I would have been like, yeah, let's do it right now.
Right. Yeah.
But it just has been the most enjoyable,
little gift.
It's Friday. We have to wait till Wednesday. I'm like, how many times do I have to rewatch these 7 episodes between now and Wednesday? Because it's between this and the Great Pottery Throwdown. Those are the only 2 things that are making me happy right now.
I understand.
They're the only 2 things that are just soothing my soul at the moment. Mm-hmm. Very different vibes, but also not.
But very also not.
Very life affirming. So I think we did it.
I think we did it.
One last little thing that the Redditors have pointed out, which I don't know if this is actually a thing, but it made me laugh. Somebody named Metaphory wrote, am I the only one who missed this before? Richard equals Dick. Warren equals hole in the ground. Richard Warren equals Dick Hole. Dick Hole Street.
Dick Hole Street. And it tells you that he's buried.
Yeah, in the ground.
He's underground.
So shout out to that Reddit user.
That's really good.
It made me laugh. Really did.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, that's going to do it for us this week. We'll end on that note. Can't wait till next week.
Jodie, no phone calls, no emails. I don't know where our listeners are right now. Excuse me. I don't know where our lovely listeners are right now, but we miss you. I'd love to hear from you.
They're on summer vacation. They're at an island off of the Cape.
You really might be right. I think we did get one new review. Yes, we did. Gin Enthusiast 3 days ago. 5-star review. Thank you. If you would like to leave us a 5-star review, head to Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Gin Enthusiast. In the 12 o'clock episode from season 2 of The Pit, the hosts asked for our favorite on-screen puke. Mine has to be, it's an inside joke from the recent horror movie Obsession. I enjoy this podcast. Woo! Thank you for that review. I haven't watched Obsession yet. It's on my list, so I'm really searching for that. And thank you so much for being the first brave listener to tell us about their favorite puke. I'd still like to know. Yeah. And if you want to tell us,
you can email us at watcherspodnj@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok, although I haven't looked at the TikTok in months, so maybe do Instagram at watcherspodnj. You can find me on Instagram at Jodie_Mim, but please don't come there to tell me about puking. And
you can call us at 856-336-8986.
And you can find Andrea on Instagram with her 3 delightful pets at AQAndreaQ.
Yes.
And yeah, until next week,
bang yourself in the head,
get in the car, and go to New Jersey. I get some bagels from Hot Bagels in Carolina on Saddle River Road.